To speak more on this, we're now joined in studio by Dr. Joe Mojapelo, chairperson of the minority parties in Ekurhuleni, as well as the leader of the Super 7. We have also reached out to the Auditor General's office and they declined to join us for this conversation. But let's continue now with Dr. Mojapelo. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. So the Auditor General has hit back at the Ekurhuleni municipality saying, its statements that the public audit body was responsible for the delayed tabling of the municipality's latest audit report are misleading. Just your comment on what the Auditor General report, the Auditor General's office is saying in as far as this is concerned, please.
No, thank you, Unati, and thank you for inviting us, and good morning to your viewers. It's unfortunate, the statement of the Auditor General, and one would wonder what actually prompted them to make such a statement. It's really unfortunate because it's not entirely true that the city is responsible. You see, the process of audit is a highly legislated process in terms of Municipal Finance Management Act. And the Act is clear in terms of what ought to happen before the audit of the city can be finalized. And I think it's section 127(2).
I just want to interject there. I think the reason the Auditor General made those statements is because the Ekurhuleni Finance MMC, Mr. Ndunga, had pointed fingers at the Auditor General, saying that the Auditor General was in fact the one that was holding up the process of tabling its annual financial statements before council by not delivering the report to the municipality. Yeah,
Unati, we issued the statement because the reality of the matter is that neither party is correct. And that's what I wanted to clarify. To say that Auditor General, by their own admission, in the letter dated the 1st of December 2023, indicated that there were delays. And the delays were as a result of engagements that were ensuing between the city and the Auditor General's office. But we know the law, the Act says the Auditor General must release the report by the 30th. It says, in actual fact, it says 7 months after the end of the financial year. And our financial year end is June. So 7 months is January, yeah. Right? In fact, it's 126. That says the city must do the finances 3 months after the end of the financial year, give it to the Auditor General. They must comment within 2 months. 2 months is November. Yeah, at the end of the day, the mayor was then supposed to table the report within 7 months after the financial year, which is end of January. So it is now February. So what is happening at the moment? What happened, and this is the facts that should not be disputed. The Auditor General, indeed, they submitted their management report, which is the normal processes. They submitted the management report. We were made to believe the 17th of November, which was still within the deadline of the 30th of November, right? But rightfully so, the city had issues administratively that they wanted to engage with. And it's a normal process, it happens every year. So this engagement, there's nothing untoward. So the Auditor General, indeed, they complied when it comes to that. The city is within its right to engage if there are areas that they want to escalate. So you are now calling for calm between the city and the Auditor General's office. What is currently happening in as far as service delivery is concerned? How is this issue affecting that? No, indeed. We're calling for calm because there's no point in having the media spats on an issue that is legislated, on an issue that we still believe is within the framework of the law, right? And yes, we are awaiting the findings of the Auditor General because it talks about the performance of the city, talks about the finances of the city. As the city and council, we have already expressed ourselves in terms of the concerns with regards to the financial standing of the city, right? So in terms of service delivery, not much. This report doesn't change much. We have already diagnosed some of the areas that we believe are not correct as a city. And the report will just confirm that. Because it's an independent assessment by an independent body, and it will assist us in addressing. But the fact that the report is not ready in January, will be ready in December, has got no material effect on service delivery.
I would imagine that the intention of this alliance, as the Super 7, was that service delivery continues. As we speak, the unpaid Ekurhuleni service providers have closed down dump sites. They've parked their trucks in demonstrations, because of the unsatisfactory service delivery within the municipality. As we speak, there is really nothing happening within the municipality itself. There's also issues with water. There's issues with electricity. Just talk to me about, as you try and resolve this dispute, what is happening from a parallel point of view?
Indeed, and whilst there are parallel processes, there's a point of convergence, because this is a legislated process, the AG, right? And we are bound by law to respond and implement corrective measures, right? So that will assist ultimately with service delivery, right? We are concerned with the collapse of service delivery. We are inundated. In the previous council, we did indicate that whilst we are held accountable as public servants for service delivery, we are community members in our own right. I live amongst the community. I experience the same lack of service delivery. So it's not a pie in the sky. It's the real challenges that we are facing. We called to that extent as the council, a special council meeting, just to look at the finances of the city and the issues around service delivery. And we are concerned indeed.
The EFF is not part of the Super 7 minority party. So what engagements have you had specifically with the EFF?
The Super 7 works with both the ANC and the EFF under the current government. And we have engaged with them on the same issue, because when it comes to the executive, we've got the executive that is made up of both the ANC and the EFF. And indeed, we've got to engage both parties where we are concerned, and the engagements are ongoing.
Now, as a coalition, if I can call you that, within Ekurhuleni, there are also ramblings that within that, Super 7 minorities party, there are divisions in as far as this very issue is concerned. How is that in terms of service delivery, and as we go into the a very crucial election, hampering things, if true?
Yeah, no, there are no divisions amongst the Super 7. We are united. Mayor comes from the Super 7. And the mayor is in agreement. We don't want to play politics when it comes to issues of service delivery. And we have demonstrated that in council. It was the Super 7 that led the removal of the DA, led government. And we should be hiding, behind the failures, because we were instrumental in removing the previous, but we're not. We were very critical to the mayor in the council meeting. We continue to be critical when things are not happening. So the challenges of service delivery can never be politicized. And we are clear about that. Something must be done. And something will be done for as long as we are part of the government in Ekurhuleni.
Dr. Mojapelo, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. This morning. Thank you so much for your time. All right. Of course, that was Dr. Joe Mojapelo, chairperson of the minority parties in Ekurhuleni and leader of the Super 7. Of course, we are continuing to monitor developments there between the Auditor General's office and the Ekurhuleni municipality.